Esri EEP_2025 exam practice questions with explanations are available in the video for you to study. A system administrator is designing an environment that must handle significant fluctuations in user traffic. Which of the following architectural approaches is the most effective for ensuring that ArcGIS Enterprise can dynamically adjust to high-load scenarios? A. Implementing a localized developer edition instance. B. Deploying ArcGIS server in a multi-machine site configuration. C. Utilizing a standalone, single machine-based deployment. D. Restricting service access to internal built-in identities only. The answer is B. Multi-machine ArcGIS server sites provide the foundation for horizontal scalability by allowing the workload to be distributed across several compute nodes. This architecture enables administrators to add more machines to a site as demand grows, ensuring that the service tier does not become a bottleneck during peak usage. In contrast, a single machine deployment is limited by the physical resources of one server and lacks the redundancy needed for high-demand environments. By using a multi-machine site, the system can utilize a load balancer to effectively route requests to the most available resources. Furthermore, this strategy supports high availability, as the failure of a single node does not result in a total service outage for the organization. An organization wants to streamline user access by integrating their existing corporate directory with the enterprise portal. Which authentication configuration should the administrator implement to achieve this? A. Anonymous access with group-level filtering. B. Token-based authentication using portal-only accounts. C. Enterprise Identity Store integration. D. Built-in identity store with manual user synchronization. The answer is C. Integrating ArcGIS Enterprise with an enterprise identity store allows the organization to leverage existing user databases, such as LDAP or Active Directory, for seamless authentication. This approach simplifies credential management by allowing users to log in with their corporate credentials rather than maintaining a separate set of portal-specific passwords. It also enhances security by ensuring that user access is automatically revoked in the portal when an account is disabled in the central corporate directory. Administrators can also map enterprise groups to portal groups, making it easier to manage permissions at scale across different departments. This configuration is essential for organizations that require a unified identity strategy across all their IT infrastructure. To maintain data integrity, a portal administrator needs to ensure that critical items are protected from unintentional removal by unauthorized staff. Which strategy most effectively addresses this concern? A. Creating custom roles that exclude delete privileges for specific users. B. Increasing the resolution of item thumbnails for better visibility. C. Enabling anonymous access to allow for broader auditing. D. Setting all items to public sharing by default. The answer is A. Effective content governance in ArcGIS Enterprise relies on the principle of least privilege, which is best enforced through the use of custom roles. By defining specific roles that lack the delete privilege, administrators can prevent users from accidentally or intentionally removing authoritative layers and web maps. This granular control is superior to using default roles, which may grant more permissions than a standard user requires for their daily tasks. In addition to role-based restrictions, administrators can also enable the delete protection setting on individual items within the portal as an extra layer of security. This multifaceted approach ensures that the organization's most valuable spatial assets remain intact while still allowing users to perform necessary editing and analysis tasks. When configuring a relational data store in a high-availability (HA) setup, what is the most critical requirement for ensuring consistent data synchronization between the primary and standby nodes? A. Storing the content directory on a local drive of the primary machine only. B. Maintaining a stable, low-latency network connection for continuous replication. C. Using different authorization files for each machine in the HA pair. D. Disabling SSL encryption to improve data transfer speeds. The answer is B. High-availability deployments of the ArcGIS data store rely on near real-time data replication from the primary machine to the standby machine. A reliable, low-latency network connection is essential because any significant lag or interruption in connectivity can cause the standby node to fall out of sync or trigger an unnecessary failover. When the primary node receives a write request, it must successfully replicate that change to the standby to ensure data consistency across the environment. If the network is unstable, the system may struggle to maintain the health of the HA pair, potentially leading to data loss or service degradation during a failover event. Therefore, ensuring robust networking between data store nodes is a top priority for any administrator managing a production GIS environment. Which administrative action is most effective for helping portal users quickly distinguish between official, trusted datasets and experimental or draft items? A. Increasing the service instance limits for all published layers. B. Disabling the log rotation settings on the ArcGIS server machines. C. Designating official items as authoritative and providing comprehensive metadata. D. Restricting group creation to administrators only. The answer is C. The authoritative badge in ArcGIS Enterprise is a powerful visual indicator that helps users identify content that has been vetted and approved by the organization. When an item is marked as authoritative, it is prioritized in search results, making it much easier for staff to find the correct data for their projects. Complementing this badge with high-quality metadata ensures that users understand the data's source, accuracy, and intended use case. This practice reduces the risk of users relying on outdated or incorrect zombie layers that might exist within the portal. By establishing a clear content promotion workflow, administrators can ensure that the organization's spatial data remains a reliable, single source of truth. An administrator notices that map services are consuming an increasing amount of system memory over time, leading to performance issues. Which configuration should be evaluated to mitigate this behavior? A. The layout and theme settings of the portal homepage. B. Service instance recycling intervals and pooling parameters. C. The maximum file size allowed for system log rotation. D. The total number of web maps stored in the content directory. The answer is B. Over time, GIS services can experience memory leaks or accumulate orphaned processes that consume excessive server resources. Service recycling is a built-in mechanism in ArcGIS Server that periodically restarts service instances to clear out stale memory and refresh the process environment. By adjusting the recycling interval, administrators can ensure that instances are refreshed before they reach a state that negatively impacts system performance. Additionally, optimizing pooling settings, such as the minimum and maximum number of instances, ensures that the server only allocates resources as needed based on current traffic. Properly configured recycling and pooling are essential for maintaining the long-term stability and responsiveness of a high-use GIS site. Which ArcGIS server log level provides the highest degree of granularity for diagnosing complex service startup failures or intermittent request errors? A. Severe. B. Warning. C. Debug. D. Info. The answer is C. The debug log level is the most verbose setting available in ArcGIS Server, capturing detailed information about every step the system takes during service execution. This level is specifically designed for troubleshooting deep-seated issues that are not captured by standard, severe, or warning messages, such as specific database query strings or internal software calls. Because debug logging generates a massive amount of data, it can significantly impact disk space and server performance if left on indefinitely. Administrators should typically only enable this level during an active investigation and then revert to a more moderate level, like warning or error, once the issue is resolved. Utilizing debug logs effectively requires a balance between gathering enough data to find the smoking gun and maintaining system stability. What is the primary functional reason for deploying the ArcGIS Web Adapter in front of an ArcGIS Enterprise portal or server site? A. To provide a permanent storage location for relational data. B. To facilitate integration with an organization's existing web server and manage external traffic. C. To act as the primary hosting server for all web map services. D. To automatically replicate the portal content directory to the cloud. The answer is B. The ArcGIS Web Adapter serves as a critical bridge between standard web server software, like IIS or Apache, and the back-end ArcGIS Enterprise components. Its primary role is to forward incoming requests from the web server to the appropriate portal or server machine, allowing the organization to use their own domain names and standard ports, like 80 and 443. This setup also allows administrators to enforce web-tier authentication and use their existing security infrastructure to protect the GIS site. By using the web adapter, organizations can hide the internal ports used by ArcGIS, such as 7443 or 6443, from the public, significantly reducing the attack surface. It is a mandatory component for most production deployments, particularly those that require external or high-security access. When establishing a disaster recovery plan for ArcGIS Enterprise, which component's backup is considered the most vital for preserving the actual spatial data used by hosted feature layers? A. The portal for ArcGIS Content Directory. B. The ArcGIS Server Configuration Store. C. The ArcGIS data store, relational. D. The web adapter configuration files. The answer is C. The ArcGIS data store, specifically the relational type, is the central repository for all data published as hosted feature layers. While the portal for ArcGIS manages the items and metadata, and ArcGIS Server manages the services, the actual bits and bytes of the spatial features reside within the data store. Without a valid backup of the data store, an administrator would be unable to restore the geometry and attributes of hosted layers even if the rest of the enterprise site was successfully recovered. Esri provides specialized tools, such as the backup data store utility, to create consistent, point-in-time backups of this environment. A comprehensive recovery strategy must prioritize the data store to ensure that the organization's unique spatial data assets are never permanently lost. An administrator needs to ensure that ArcGIS Enterprise URLs remain consistent and accessible across different network segments, even if the internal server host names change. Which configuration setting is used to define this public-facing endpoint? A. The log retention period. B. The web context URL property. C. The data store replication interval. D. The portal thumbnail dimension. The answer is B. The web context URL is a crucial configuration property that tells the ArcGIS Enterprise portal and its federated servers what the official, external-facing URL should be for all generated links. This is particularly important when using a load balancer, reverse proxy, or web adapter where the internal machine name differs from the URL users type into their browsers. Without a correctly set web context URL the portal might generate internal links that are unreachable for external users, resulting in broken maps or authentication failures. Setting this property ensures that all metadata, service definitions, and sharing links use the standardized corporate URL. This practice provides a consistent user experience and simplifies the migration of the environment to new hardware or domain names.